Why not buy your own home or your own building using terms? Hey, welcome to another Deal Structure Sunday. It's Chris Prefontaine with Smart Real Estate Coach. In a little bit different twist today. You know, we're in the business, and I've said at many events and probably throughout the QLS video course, if you study what we teach and you don't do deals for a profit, why not buy your own home? I don't care if it's every 5 or 7 or 10 years. You can benefit if you just learned it from that standpoint. Well, in this case, a little bit of a twist. We had been renting our offices, and this was what housed our property buying and selling and our coaching, mentoring, and training business. And at the time, we were in one town over from where I'm talking to now. We were leasing for $2,643. And that would kill me every month I wrote the check, because we're in the business and we're writing someone a check for a lease and never seeing that again. And on top of that, I had to fix the offices up to the tune of like 10 grand over the last few years. So we started looking around at the area. All office buildings were running for what we needed or wanted somewhere between $3,800 and $5,000. That made me cringe even more. So we started looking for terms deals, and it didn't take long. You know, you set your motions in the right direction and things will follow energy-wise. Didn't take long. We actually ran into a FSBO, but it came to us regardless of a 8-foot sign being in front of the building. I didn't see it, and I drive by all the time. It's in a very busy area, across from a BJ's, across from a bank, across from a Dunkin' Donuts. So obviously the location's good. Somebody else already did that research. The realtor referred us, and so just a side note for you, the seller ended up taking care of her with a referral fee and wanting to deal with me directly, which everyone was great with. Now, here's what's interesting. The seller has, over the last 30 years, accumulated massive amounts of land. He's not new to real estate. And he wanted to move this building because he bought it originally for his son and didn't need it any longer. His son moved out of state. So we did this deal with no purchase and sales agreement. Now, I know that's odd for many of you. I'm a handshake type person. I'd love to do more like that. It's just that you can't do that with everyone. This person and I got along well enough to say, look, we don't need a P&S. Our attorneys are in the same office, coincidentally. Have them close it. I said to him, you should only on deposit. Like, I'm not giving you any deposit. You could sell it tomorrow. He said, I'm not going to sell it. I'll take my sign down. You got my word. So we went forward. Okay, fast forward. We did owner financing. Now, what's interesting is he was on the market for $650,000. Owner financing, advertised owner financing. Advertised that he wanted 20% down. Advertised that he'd hold a mortgage for 20 or 25 years at 5.5%. That was what was offered out. We came back and said, at the time it was actually slashed to 565. We offered 550, but we came at him with a little bit of different terms. I wanted my payment to be somewhat close to this. And if I run you through the numbers here and I get to the end and I use his interest rate, it would have been over that. I didn't want that. So I reverse engineered it, and here's what we did. We put down, now this is going to break every rule we teach when you're out buying investment property. Here's what we did. We put down at the closing, so no money until we got to the closing a month and a half later. Title was run and we were ready to go. We put down $35,000. Now, I say it breaks every rule. Where did this come from? This came from not my personal savings account. It came from deals we have going on with payday 1, 2s, and 3s coming in. So I got a comment on Bigger Pockets on one of the forums recently and said, but that's your money. Okay, it could have been my money. We reallocated it. It never was in our pocket. We reallocated it to a great investment. So that was our down payment. Now, here's what's interesting. Remember, I was paying this per month, right? We closed this on November 30th. So normally, we would have a lease payment due. December was already paid for our old location. Normally, we would have January, February, and March due. Well, we got a no payments is what we negotiated. And he accepted. No payments, no interest, no principal, no nothing for 3 months. What did that do? Pretty much put this times 3 in my pocket, because we had no expense going out and we could use that to rehab the building. So there's all the little nuances here that I hope you're picking up on of ways to structure. And if you took one of these, you'd have a good win. But we had a bunch in there. So no payments. Then we said, okay, if there's no payments until March, what happens after that? On April 1st, May 1st, June 1st, and July 1st, we're going to pay $2,500. But we're not paying that as a lease, because we own the building now, and we're not paying that with interest. This is 100% principal pay down. So remember, bought the building for $550, put down $35, 4 months of $2,500 principal only is another $10,000 on the deposit. Then on August 1st, so we went April, May, June, July. On August 1st, there's another $15,000 due. Why do we put it out at August 1st? We know, based on the terms business, what payday 1s and 3s are going to be coming in each month. and we can allocate it to that. See how you can plan your business if you have the benefit of having some deals in the pipeline? You have a structured cash flow coming in that you can bet on. So in August 1, if you add these numbers up, it comes to $60,000. Okay, so how the attorney structured this is, that's the down payment, even though it didn't come day one when we took over the building. He trusted the relationship enough to say, great, so $60,000 down, what's left? $550 and $60. We now have, he wanted 5.5, remember, we now have a conventional payment being made, which again is a little bit outside of what we normally do, but only at 5.2%. I took his 5.5, it bopped it over $3,000. I took 5.4, 5.25, it just kept keeping over $3,000. I wanted it under $3,000. This payment comes to about $29.21 and change. $29.21 owning, $26.43 out the window. No brainer. And so if you have any questions on how we structured this, please submit them below here on the deal structure video, because as I say on every video, you can't get enough deal structure. You could take any one of these and go off and do a residential deal with it, never mind 3 or 4 or 5 of these techniques. Also, be sure to subscribe if you're not already, so you get the deal structure videos every Sunday and you get to just immerse yourself in this stuff, and the Q&A Thursdays as well as the Motivational Mondays. Also, if you're not on our podcast as a regular follower, go ahead and subscribe at smartrealestatecoachpodcast.com, because on that, on purpose, unlike a lot of podcasts, I allow every other niche, every other educator, every other competitor, most people would think, to come on the podcast and share with you what they do in their world, because I'm not so naive to think that what we do is for everyone. You get a chance to see everything on there and then follow whichever direction you want to go. So I appreciate you being on here. Look forward to seeing you next week for another deal structure video.